You really need to hear this because it is something most people simply never see coming. The very moment you stopped chasing them, they noticed it right away, but they did not notice it in the way you might expect. It was not with any sense of relief or some kind of casual indifference. Not at all. They noticed it with a sudden and almost terrifying clarity. It is a specific kind of clarity that shakes their inner thoughts down to the very core of who they are. When you finally stop chasing, the world around you does not just shift in small, insignificant ways. The person you once pursued begins a quiet and unseen process of falling apart on the inside, and this is precisely where things become truly risky for them. They suddenly sense an empty space where your attention and your vibrant energy used to be. It is a space they never even realized was there before. Now, that space feels wide, open, and haunting. They are not used to dealing with such quiet, empty moments. As a result, they start to panic without even knowing exactly why. If you want to understand the full psychological truth about what happens when you stop chasing, hit the like button right now. Most people do not understand this part of the dynamic at all. Your absence is not really just an absence in their mind. It works more like a mirror instead. It forces them to look at things they never wanted to face about themselves. They realize, deep down, that their feeling of power and their sense of control over you has suddenly evaporated. And what happens when that control vanishes? Their inner mind grows restless and incredibly uneasy. It turns desperate in ways they cannot easily explain to themselves or anyone else. It starts to whisper uncomfortable truths that they feel far too embarrassed to accept openly. The truths they spend their day avoiding always seem to come back to bother them at night. They begin to wonder if they wanted you not for your true self, but simply for the way you made them feel important and validated. And now that you are no longer there to feed that ego, that false image starts to break down completely. However, they cannot see it fully yet in their waking, busy thoughts. Their mind feels divided between what they desperately hope for and what they are deeply scared of. That inner division drives them to a kind of quiet madness they cannot easily name. They begin picturing your life moving forward without them in it. Every laugh you share with someone else, every genuine smile you give to the world, and every moment you spend not even thinking about them starts to hurt them in a very silent way. And here comes the difficult part that surprises many people. It is not only longing they feel. There is also a potent mix of anger, fear, and guilt that they cannot seem to sort out properly. It shows up in strange behaviors that seem irrational or even risky at times. Most people never face these raw feelings head-on. Instead, they try to run away from the discomfort of it all. They act like the change does not exist at all, but you have brought it into the open simply by pulling back your energy. By stepping away and letting them sit with that empty space they were never ready for, something deep and basic wakes up inside them. Something hidden under many layers of self-deception starts to stir strongly. That inner voice, which stayed quiet for so long, now grows loud and demanding. It tells them they cannot lose you and that they cannot let you go easily. They start remembering every conversation, every message, every look, and every small, seemingly insignificant moment between you. They examine themselves closely, and they examine you too. They try incredibly hard to find the exact point where they might be able to pull you back into their orbit again. And here is the part that feels most frightening to them. They will feel a strong, overwhelming need to do something about it. Not always in a logical or planned way, but sometimes suddenly and without thinking at all. Because the human mind dislikes loose ends and uncertainty more than almost anything else. You have created the biggest kind of uncertainty for them. You might not notice it yet from your side. You could believe that silence feels peaceful and that your absence causes no harm, but absence, when used in the right way, becomes one of the strongest forces possible. The moment they understand they cannot make you chase them anymore is when their outer image starts to crack. Once that image slips away, everything they kept hidden begins to come out into the light. All the things they pushed down and denied for years start rising up to the surface. And that is the risky part, because the calm and cool person you see on the outside is no longer who they recognize in themselves. They will struggle to make sense of it, even when understanding feels impossible. In your silence, you have effectively become the center of their inner breakdown. But here is what keeps the story going, because what comes after this is something they cannot guess in advance. Even they do not fully know it yet themselves. This is where we end the first part for now. The silence you made is not really empty at all. It acts like a mirror showing everything they have been avoiding. And that reflection is getting ready to speak loudly to them. They cannot stop thinking about it, not because they choose to, but because the empty space you left behind refuses to be forgotten. Comment below with the word "stopped" if you have walked away and felt them starting to unravel. Here is the truth they keep secret, even from their own thoughts. Absence feels more scary than direct rejection in many ways. Rejection has a clear, defined shape, and you can see it plainly. Absence, on the other hand, feels like complete disorder. It is like an empty space where their deepest worries and insecurities paint themselves freely. And this is where everything starts getting complicated for them. They begin to notice every small detail they missed before, every break in conversation, every slow reply, and every smile that does not involve them becomes intensely important. Each small pullback in your attention hits their inner mind like a heavy, unexpected blow. They replay moments that seemed completely unimportant at the time. That joke you enjoyed without them there, that quick, dismissive look you gave someone else. That message you did not answer right away, all of it plays again and again in their head. In that constant obsessive replay, they start finding patterns, or what they desperately believe are patterns. Their thoughts try to create meaning out of it all. Their pride simply cannot handle unclear situations, and unclear situations are exactly what you gave them by stepping back. Here is the quiet fear that grows in them. They start doubting their own choices. Did they judge you wrongly? Did they push too much? Did they fail to value you when they had the actual chance? Every hidden doubt comes up like an old ghost visiting their mind. Most people do not know that the mind does not simply accept loss quietly. It looks for ways to fix it instead. When no real fix appears, it makes one up on its own. It creates stories, reasons, and explanations to get back some feeling of power. And how does that appear in them at first? It starts in small ways, like a quick wish to contact you or a quiet interest in what you are doing. Then it grows stronger with repeated thoughts and vivid dreams about changing what happened. Regrets become so painful they feel sharp and bitter. They start feeling trapped by their own inner thoughts because your distance has set off something very basic in them. The understanding that they cannot get what they want through pressure, tricks, or charm anymore. And this is usually the point where many people start to fall apart in their thinking, because the human mind is not made to stay comfortable with having no control. Deep inside, they wrestle with a hidden worry that they might lose you for good. Drop a comment if this is exposing how their subconscious panics when you go silent. This worry does not follow clear thinking. It works on old, primal instincts from the deepest parts of the mind, the parts that shout, reach out, and demand answers quickly. And here is the difficult truth many people try to avoid. Their inner mind begins making plans without asking their normal, rational thoughts for permission. They might tell themselves they need to prove they care more, or they need to make you pursue them again. Or even worse, they feel the need to make you pay for walking away. When pride feels attacked, ideas of right and wrong can become very flexible. All the nice outer appearances break down. All the reasons they made up and the social faces they wore melt away quickly. And this is where it starts feeling very personal to them. They are now dealing with strong emotions they cannot manage well. Feelings of want, envy, guilt, and embarrassment crash together in a way that feels too heavy to bear. Yet they cannot act in a calm manner yet. They swing back and forth between two different worlds, trying to find a way to escape the reality of the distance you have created. It is an internal conflict that leaves them drained and searching for a way to resolve the tension that your silence has forced upon them. They are no longer the ones in charge of the narrative, and that realization is changing everything about how they view their future in relation to you. There is one state of mind where they deeply want your notice, and another where they are genuinely scared of their own intense feelings. There is one part of them that wishes to connect with you again, and another part that feels disgusted with themselves for needing you this much. And here is the strange, hidden twist in all of this. You did nothing at all, really. You simply stopped going after them. And yet, by doing so little, you have effectively woken up the deepest and most secret parts of their thoughts. These are the parts of themselves they have hidden for many years. They are the parts they feel too shy or ashamed to admit even to their own reflection. They are the parts that speak softly in quiet moments, whispering that they feel weak, that they are not enough, and that they desperately want what they cannot easily get. Most people will try to escape these uncomfortable feelings as fast as they can. They will look for constant distractions or try to explain their worry away with cold logic. But this is not something that logic can easily fix or resolve. This is a deep and direct inner panic that is now leaking into their daily life. And here is the point where things can change very quickly. The longer you stay away and maintain your distance, the stronger their inner disorder becomes. They start to notice details about you that they completely ignored before. They see the way you move with newfound confidence, the way you smile freely without needing their approval, and the way your daily life keeps moving forward smoothly. Every new observation feels painful to them. Every new realization adds to their internal pressure, yet they remain stuck between fear and a very strong desire. They are caught between what they want badly and what they are actually ready to accept openly. In that stuck place, they begin creating scenarios in their mind that they never imagined before. They have dreams of having power over you again, dreams of coming back together, and dreams of getting even somehow. Because your act of stepping back has shown them an honest, undeniable fact. You are not theirs to direct, control, or own. You never really were. And that simple fact feels harmful, mainly to them. And here is the open question we must leave for now. They are alert and watching now, even if they are not fully aware of why they are doing it. Their own inner mind has turned against them in some ways, and they have no idea where it will lead them next. The trouble has already started, and you are positioned right at the center of it. They are beginning to break apart without even noticing the full extent of it yet. It begins in small ways, like an unexplained tightness in their body or a sudden feeling of worry that catches them by surprise, but it keeps growing and spreading like wildfire. A steady sense of panic enters every idea, every urge, and every moment of their day. Here is the hard truth they have to face. Your absence is not just nothing. It functions as a mirror they cannot turn away from easily. And what they see in that mirror scares them to their very core. They see their true self without any masks or covers. They see their own weakness, their strong needs, and their deep fear of depending on someone else. Type the word mirror in the comments if you have seen your absence turn into their worst nightmare. They feel genuinely upset by their own hidden wishes. For a long time, they hid behind false ideas of being in charge, being superior, and not needing anyone at all. And you removed those false ideas without making any big effort or scene. Most people mistakenly believe that facing someone requires direct action or confrontation. They are wrong about that. Stepping away is an incredibly powerful way to face things. Staying silent can be just as strong, and refusing to chase becomes the most powerful method of all. Now their inner mind comes alive with intense energy. All the wishes they buried deep down start to move forward. All the false stories they told themselves about how they feel start to rise up. All the pride and refusal they used to hide behind now surge forward like a tidal wave. They begin feeling a strange, confusing mix of strong want and intense anger at the same time. Care is mixed with worry, and their wishes are tangled with regret. They might find themselves looking at their phone with their fingers ready to message you. They are shaking with the knowledge that they should not, but they feel completely unable to resist the urge. In that moment of uncertainty, the break inside them grows much deeper. Because every person has dark corners filled with hidden worries and secret wishes. When the world acts beyond their control, those corners start to grow larger. They push out, searching for a way out. They may try to act calm and reasonable on the outside for the sake of appearances, but the inner mind does not pretend. It speaks quietly, it pulls strongly, it keeps bothering them, refusing to go silent. And through your absence, you have initiated that deep, unrelenting pull within them. They create mental pictures that feel very real and powerful. They imagine you enjoying your life without them, moving forward without even thinking of them for a second. Each of these mental images hurts their pride. Each one reminds them they cannot force you or take back what you have chosen to hold back. And here is the most risky part of all. This is the stage when repetitive thoughts and strong focus develop, because the human mind dislikes empty spaces more than it dislikes pain itself. The human inner self cannot remain with nothing without making up some kind of meaning. When no meaning is offered to them, it creates one quickly. They will obsessively think of reasons and motives. They will go over past conversations with great detail, looking at every single word. Every memory becomes like a sharp point turned toward themselves. Every question they ask themselves and every mental story they construct reflects a deep fear that is hiding as normal, rational thinking. Somewhere below the surface, basic human drives start to take over. The part of the mind that existed before rules and clear logic, the part that simply wants and reacts, begins to make plans. These plans are not made in open, conscious thoughts, but in much deeper, darker ways. And you remain at the very center of that inner storm for them. They may feel pushed to contact you just to check things or to stir up some kind of reaction. Because when absence reaches deep into the inner mind, the feeling of control starts to feel strange and far away. Want and worry completely take over their capacity for clear thinking. The inner self breaks under the weight of what it cannot manage, and the pressure continues to build because they cannot simply let you go yet. Every sign of your independent life hits them extremely hard. Every update or sign of your world without them cuts into them deeply. And the most painful part of this is that you cannot see the storm happening inside of them. They are spinning in circles of thought, trapped in an internal chaos that you started just by stepping back. Comment the word vacuum if you have felt them desperately trying to fill the space you left behind. This is not just regular emotional hurt. It evolves into a form of mental pressure that fundamentally changes how they see everything. It makes their focus much stronger and enlarges every weakness and worry they possess. And the hardest thing for them is that they do not understand why they feel this way. Their normal, rational thinking tries to stay reasonable, but their deeper, subconscious mind has already taken charge. They have become caught up in the uncertainty you created, in the unknown, and in a silence that feels much louder than any spoken words could ever be. And still, they show nothing obvious on the outside, at least for now. The trouble just keeps building quietly inside of them. And this is where we have to end this part. Standing right on the edge of falling apart, their thoughts feel unsteady. Their desire is mixed with deep worry. Their wishes feel spoiled by waves of regret. Their strong focus has grown completely free and unstoppable. They are dangerously close to a breaking point. And when the human mind gets to this stage, being on the verge of breaking can lead to a massive change or to total internal disorder, and the center of their confusion is you. This is the moment they are moving toward, even if they do not know it yet. Your absence has done its quiet work slowly and without any overt notice. Your choice not to chase has taken apart everything they thought they had managed. Now the outer cover is gone completely. They look into the empty space you made and finally see their true self. Not the version they show to others, but the honest, desperate, and scared person beneath it all. And here is the scary, unavoidable fact. They dislike what they see in that space. They dislike the weakness, the need, and the worry about losing. They dislike the strong pull that bothers them constantly, but they find that they cannot look away from it. They cannot forget it because your absence showed them what chasing never could. Most people never go through this kind of experience. Most never actually meet the version of themselves that appears when the person they want decides to step away.